children of the night. What music they make.
They're all gonna laugh at you!
They're coming to get you, Barbara.
What's that?
I'm not gonna hurt you. I'm just gonna bash you with it.
Make room. Here come the final guys. Uh-oh. We've got a masked bandit here with us. Hunter Shea, is that you?
Live from New York. I'm just trying to protect you. I don't know how far this travels. I've read things on the internet where you can get it through the internet. So I just want to be careful.
It's Pontypool.
I don't know where I've been.
Can you guys see us when the intro's playing?
That would be good to know.
Like, no, I'm asking, can you? Like,
I can't, no.
The bottom. Okay. Because as soon as I started, I saw you putting on the mask on. I'm like, dumbass, I could see you. You're not tricking anybody.
Well, I'm tricking the general audience, I figure.
Trick me, I can't see him.
See?
Yeah. Okay, anyway.
Oh, this isn't going to work.
Well, I've got some homemade masks that a friend of mine made. So I had to go to the supermarket today. So I wore it out in public. It's crazy.
My daughter made one for me last night out of my Shania Twain bandana. It's sexy.
The thing is, the ones I have, they pull your ears out like this, so I kind of look like the Green Goblin.
Hey, that's always been your goal. You used to talk about it all the time.
So Hunter Shea, Jason Brant, how you doing? How you doing, fellas?
Life is the same over here.
I'm above the earth. It's all good right now.
My neighbor was like, "Oh, this is day 20 of being quarantined for me." I'm like, "Dude, this is like year 8. I don't go outside. Nothing changes."
You just can't go to the brewery.
Yes, actually, my alcoholism's gotten worse because I don't have limits when I go to the bar like I do, so.
Yeah, I can see that.
I think I said that backwards because I'm stupid, but that's okay.
We understood.
Alcoholism. It's addling my brain.
Well,
what are you drinking tonight, by the way?
Just some shitty sangria.
Sangria?
Yeah. Interesting.
It's hot.
I'm drinking Montauk Driftwood Ale.
Oh, Montauk Monster.
Yummy.
I happened upon that place when I was doing research for Montauk Monster, and that's when I left my kids in the car for hours while I sat in there drinking.
Yeah, and then you became a Montauk Monster.
It's a fun day.
Well, today our main feature is a Shudder exclusive called The Room. So we'll get into that a little later. Does anybody have anything they want to get off their chest before we get into the news?
Yes, actually. Tommy Wiseau is not in this movie, so I'm sorry to disappoint everyone. This is not the infamous 2003 The Room, which,
hi, Mark.
Yeah, if you haven't seen that, it's the greatest movie ever made. Go watch it.
I've never seen it.
Oh my God, dude. It's so amazing.
Yeah.
Maybe now with all this time on our hands, maybe I'll watch that.
So wait, so this isn't the one Room with Captain Marvel either?
Brie Larson.
I may have watched the wrong movie. Mine was pretty depressing.
It's a great movie.
It is.
No, this one's got sweet Olga Kurylenko.
I did not know who she was. She was recognizable, but I had no idea her name was Olga, which is
she doesn't look like an Olga.
She was a Bond girl.
Oh, yeah, really? So I looked her up and I was like, "Oh shit, that's why I recognize her." Was it Quantum of Solace? Maybe. Sure. We'll go with that one.
But Pussy Galore died. Speaking of Bond girls. She
really?
Passed away. Yes.
Damn, how old was she?
I think she was in her 80s. She was up there.
Hung in there.
Well, we got a new Monster Man out. Well, what did we? But I think we announced it last week. What did we? Chris Sorensen.
Chris Sorensen, the author of the Nightmare Room and the Messy Man series, and audiobook narrator, superb.
We were doing horror hangouts, so we hung out with him, and he's a audiobook reader. So he had some very interesting stuff to share with us about that world. Pretty cool.
What was his name again?
Chris Sorensen.
Chris Sorensen. Okay.
Next week, we're going to have Matt Minacchio, who did the Krampus Dark Servant book and has a new book about baseball out, which we're craving baseball. We're cranking it out now, boy.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, but we got
Then
time now. We can find each other.
It's funny, in the middle of this Chris Sorensen episode, Jack goes, "Hey, this is our 150th episode." I'm like, it is? Well, so much for really making a big deal about it.
150, no shit.
Yep.
Thank God we have Skype and all this online stuff, because it's more fun when I go over his place to do these. But if that's all we ever did, we'd be on still like 50 episodes.
Yeah.
It's true.
We need to figure out what we're doing for 150 on here. We're only 2 episodes away, I think.
I say we roofie ourselves and just see what happens.
Okay. No subject, just
us talking.
show up screwed up. Okay.
Yeah, like now, but for 2 hours.
Yeah, we should actually give us some suggestions. Like, I have no clue what to do.
Yeah,
Give us suggestions, but don't hold your breath on us using them.
if they're stupid, they're going in the garbage.
Maybe we should do the Tommy Wiseau The Room. That would be an entertaining episode.
And the Disaster Artist. We should watch it one after the other.
Pretty good movie, actually.
It was. Oh, hi, Mark.
I'm gonna start quoting it. Don't go. Something else.
All right. Well, let's get into the news. There's not much news. Well, what?
Jack, you forgot something.
Oh, the drinking words. What
Yeah.
for the drinking game, the Final Guy's drinking game, what are the words to drink to, fellas?
All right. Thank you from Sheridan Bradford, we were talking last night on our hangout with my patrons. We don't think he's living where I think he's living. I think he's moved. I think he's on the run. This could be why. Jack, your words are quarantined monkey and thoughts. I've had a lot of quarantined monkey thoughts lately. Mine are pregnant Tommy and Boogans. I hate a pregnant Tommy Boogans. Jason, yours is baby dust revenge. And we've hit it already. The bonus, if any of us say shutter inside Olga. All right. He was having fun this week. Well, if any of those words are said, just drink.
Any one of our words, all 3 of them read like a 70s exploitation film.
Yeah. That's awesome. Baby
Well done.
Dust revenge.
And now it's time for quarantined monkey thoughts. I wish I had a banana. Ook, ook.
God.
My keeper died. I'm starving.
I'm so curious. All right. First piece of news. I'm scraping the bottom of the barrel for news right now. No surprise, Candyman has been pushed back. The new Candyman is pushed back from June 12th to September 25th.
Good.
So you're going to have to wait for your Candyman. And we'll see if it gets pushed back further than that, because who the hell knows when things are going to go back to normal. And thoughts on that, guys?
I think we're going to have a lot of movies to watch from about September on. It's just going to be theaters every weekend.
I'm really not going to theaters.
Yeah, I'm really concerned about theaters because I don't know if they're going to get people coming back in droves. I think people are going to still be scared to death to be locked in a box for 2 hours.
I wonder if like the Regal Pass and shit will be super cheap. It might be.
How much is it now? Is it like 25?
I think for my theater, it's like 22, something like that. 22 a month. So it's not bad.
Are they still making you pay it now while they're not open?
I never got it.
Oh, see, yeah. I have the Alamo Pass. It's $20 a month, and they suspended accepting payments. But they did a cool thing where they said, if you want to continue to pay it, it's just all going to go to the employees who are out of work. Oh, so I was like, I think there you go. Take it.
That's slick. That's nice of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it might be cheap. I'm curious. I might get a lot of movies in very cheap. We'll see.
Yeah, we're going to see. This is going to be interesting for the rest of the year.
Well, I'm in no hurry to get back into a movie theater until there's a vaccine for this thing. So
see you next year.
Yeah. The actual piece of news that's interesting is this. Universal has tapped director Stephen Williams, who did a few of the Watchmen series, did some Ray Donovan, some Walking Dead. He is going to helm a Universal monster movie called Don't Go in the Water. And there's simmering rumors that perhaps this is a Creature from the Black Lagoon.
I was just going to say, that was on when I walked upstairs. My wife was watching it. You know what? I'm down for it. Give me more Creature from the Black Lagoon that's not having sex with women.
That was weird.
I was so excited for that movie, and I appreciate what went into it and the way it looked and everything. But when I was done, I was like, nah, I'm probably not gonna. I'll watch that maybe one more time before I croak. Like, it didn't grab me.
I enjoyed that movie a lot. I saw it in the theater, and I just love the fact that it was such a big swing, and it was a great story. It was so different. But yeah, I have no real desire to watch it again ever.
Yeah, I don't understand how that got best movie. Like, I'm glad it did because that might push more of these kinds of movies to be made. But when I watched it, I was like, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what? I don't know. What the hell do I know?
Fishman sex. I should start writing.
All right. That's all the news I got. I could have pulled the third one out, but no.
No need.
So we're going to have to just extend the curation part. I mean, there's not going to be any news except for cancellations and delays for the next half a year.
Do we do news like The Onion going forward? Do we just make shit up and see if it makes any traction?
Yeah, maybe we'll just start shitting on people for the first 15 minutes. I like it.
Instead of each other. I think that's awesome.
All right, let's talk about what we watched.
We have such sights to show you.
All right. Jason, I have no idea. I know one thing you watched this week. Go for it.
Okay. It was I'm really lagging on what I'm watching, but I did manage to squeeze a few things in at the end of the week here. But first I want to mention I've watched The Hunt. The one that was pushed back forever that everybody freaked out about.
You said you wouldn't pay for it.
I didn't pay for it. I got to tell you what, man, I was completely wrong about this because I didn't want to see it in the theater. I thought it was going to be shit and just full of political nonsense. This movie is hilarious and it is pretty damn good. I liked it a lot.
I knew it.
I was really surprised. And, you know, I was just shitting on everybody about, not everybody, I was shitting on Black Christmas last week and all the garbage that went into that movie. It wasn't like a narrative. It was just like stupid topics they could throw at you and then they tried to wrap a narrative around it. This I thought was just going to be more political nonsense. It makes fun of conservatives. It makes fun of progressives. It makes fun of everyone equally. If you were to watch this without hearing any of the chatter in the background about people freaking out over this, you would not know what angle they were trying to take with this. Good. And I would even say going in, and this could just be because of my preconceptions, but you might think it was more against the left than the right. So everyone who was pushing for this to be canceled and thrown out the window, we bitched on this show, and there were a couple people in our comments who were giving us shit about it. You were wrong. This did not need to be delayed. This is not some kind of crazy, we all conservatives should be killed thing or whatever everybody thought it was going to be. It's a funny comedic horror movie, and I enjoyed the hell out of it. And this is why these things should not be canceled before anybody sees the goddamn movie. Let it come out and let us watch it. And then like Black Christmas, I can shit on it, or like this, I can be surprised. But let me make the decision. You don't get to tell me what I can't watch. Assholes. Okay, I'm off my soapbox.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah. It was a good movie, though. I was really surprised, man. It was funny. And the actress who ended up playing the lead role in it, Betty Gilpin.
She's from Glow.
I had never seen her before.
I love her.
Man, she is so money in this movie. I was trying to look her up. She has no social media presence. I couldn't find anything about her really, except, the movie she's been in. She's killer in this. Killer.
She's great in Glow. So it's my wife and I, we were set to go to the theater and then it didn't happen. And we want to watch it here, but she's quarantined in one part of the house. I'm in the other. So it's like, we keep waiting till we can actually sit next to each other to watch it together.
I think you're going to like it. There was one part at the end that I didn't really get how that could happen, but otherwise I was in.
Any movie that takes steaming dumps on both extremes, I'm in.
Yeah, I was just laughing. The caricatures they do of people is so funny. Like, I was digging the hell out of it. and they just do a lot of setups and then just knock down your expectations over and over and over again. So it was really well made. Good job.
Cool.
Outstanding. Hey, before we go any further, have you guys watched any non-horror stuff that has got you through? Like on Sunday, I found myself just The Office is on all the time. I watch The Office all day. Community is on Netflix. I love that show. I'm gonna plow through all 6 seasons of Community. Is there anything not horror that you want to like throw out there that you've been watching?
Yeah, I've been doing Parks and Rec,
Ah, love it.
and then a lot of stand-up specials. Just because, like, so there's some days, especially after work, where the people who you're dealing with just assume that you are immune to everything going on around, like your life is perfect, so they just dump their shit on you for 8 hours a day, and then you come home, you're like, I can't watch horror, man. If I don't laugh, I'm gonna shoot somebody. So yeah, I've been turning into a lot of like either funny stuff or comfort movies from the 80s that I haven't seen in a long time that make me feel like I'm a kid again.
I did watch 8 hours of a non-horror show this week. It took up almost all of my viewing time. I'm going to mention it later just because it needs to be brought up. But yeah,
I also watched Ozark. I'm not going to talk about it here, but oh goddamn, watch that show.
Nice. I've never seen it. Everybody says it's great.
Oh, dude, I almost envy you if you've got this kind of time and you don't have to wait between seasons. Oh, so good. And this season was tremendous. So,
how many seasons are there?
3,
right?
Is this the last one? Because Netflix always kills it after 3.
If they don't continue, I'm gonna lose my.
I think Ozark's doing really well for them, so that'll get a 4th.
Okay. Well, they didn't continue the OA after season 2, and I thought I was going to have to climb a tower with a rifle because of the way that second season ended. I was not pleased.
All right, Hunter, what do you got for horror movies?
See, people on audio can't see what I was doing, the OA movements. Speaking of comfort movies, so I finally loaded up Tubi TV on my Roku.
Oh, good for you.
And I was like, oh, let me look for something. And I found a Roger Corman classic, Forbidden World. Not Forbidden Planet with Robbie the Robot. Forbidden World. Super hyper B movie from, I think, 80, 81. This was in the period of time when Corman was saying, I'm just going to take bits of Alien and put them in about 5 different movies and just make it cheaper. It has the Corman formula. It's the science experiment gone wrong, and this creature is evolving on this planet base or whatever. So here comes this mercenary, or I don't know, he's a cleanup guy with his robot, this terrible person in a costume. And he's there to kind of solve the problem. He fixes problems. Well, this thing keeps growing and mutating and turning people into like goo. It's a very gooey movie. It's the wettest horror movie. It's the moistest sci-fi movie you will ever watch. It's fun, man. There's nudity. There's women taking showers together for no reason whatsoever. There's gore, just cheesy sets. Oh my! I love this freaking movie. I hadn't seen it in maybe 30 years, so I was pumped that it was on there for free. Faux free.
Where was it? Amazon?
Tubi,
okay.
Yeah.
Tubi's the bomb.
Trust me, it has started me on a Corman rabbit hole that it's going to last weeks.
Tubi has TJ Hooker, and every so often I just go and break off a few TJ Hookers. Puts me in a good mood.
Heather Locklear at her best.
Oh yeah.
Does this show still hold up? Because all those shows from back then, I go back and watch. I'm like,
it's tremendous. It's tremendous.
Well, by the way, Norm Hendricks is in the house.
Yeah, I said hi to him in the YouTube, but he's actually on Facebook, so I got to get over to Facebook.
What's up, Norm?
Normie,
my man. By the way, for better or for worse, he's the reason that I started writing. So
we won't hold that against
Norm, you son of a bitch.
He's out of a lot of wills now.
That's why we have Swamp Monster Massacre. Come on.
Yep.
All right, so I got a story for you.
Oh, let me sit back.
There was this movie called Along Came the Devil that's been on the Amazon list, but it's like $4 or $5, something like that, to pay-per-view, and it looks like it's not. I felt like I could wait it out. So recently, I'm scrolling through and I check in on it, and it's on Prime, and it's got Sydney Sweeney. If you know who that is, she was in Euphoria. She was in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. She's a little smoke show. So I'm like, oh, I didn't realize she was in it. I'm definitely watching this right now.
Smoke show. Oh, we're in trouble.
So I hit play, and I'm like getting like my beverage and whatever. I'm getting a little snack. So I settle in as like the opening credits are happening. So I'm not really looking. And the movie unfolds, and it's this other girl. So I'm like, is that Sydney Sweeney, but just like when she was younger? No, that's not her. And then she's referring to her sister who's not around. So I'm like, oh, she must be in it later in the movie. So I'm just watching this movie, and the whole movie goes through, and there's no Sydney Sweeney, no nothing. And it turns out that on Amazon, it says Along Came the Devil, but when you hit play, it's Along Came the Devil 2.
Oh my God, that's right. There's two of them. I forgot.
So I just
so
watched
funny.
Along Came the Devil 2. So I'm like, what? So it takes me a while to figure out what the hell just happened. So I go back, and like on the page where you can get it, like I keep hitting like play, and it plays part 2. But there's pay-per-view options if you hit like more ways to watch that you still have to pay. So I'm like, now if I go to pay-per-view this movie, am I pay-per-viewing part 2? So even if I decided, yeah, what the hell, I'll spend the $4 or $5 and watch the first one, now so the second one, I don't trust it enough to do that. So
you got bait and switched, brother.
I got bait and switch, and it's all because I wasn't looking when the opening credits came up. So I watched Along Came the Devil 2. Sort of figured out.
Was it any good?
It's all right. The first half's got like not so much happens, but there's a couple of like cheesy jump scare stuff where there's like a ghostly figure that just screams, and you're just kind of like, it gets a point in the movie where you're sort of like, all right, come on. But then in the third act, it kind of kicks in a gear, and there's some good gore and stuff like that. So for a Prime movie, it's worth a watch for a kind of a good junk food horror movie to watch. It ain't the greatest thing I'm ever going to see.
You didn't intend to watch.
Right. But had I paid like $4 or $5 to see it, I don't know if I would have felt that way. I would have been like, why did I pay for that? This should have been on Shudder or something like that.
Oh God, that is
but
awesome.
If you saw part 1 and you were wanting to see part 2, it's on Prime now, but you may have to go to part 1 to see it. I don't know.
Gotcha.
That's amazing. You could have used the Evil Dead 2 opening where they redo the first movie.
Yeah.
For like 20 minutes. That might help.
That's so funny.
You know what else is in it? Is that it's the gray-haired guy who was the senator in the first X-Men movie.
Oh yeah, Mike Bruce Davison.
Yeah, he's in it too. He plays the priest.
Rest in peace.
Oh, is he dead? It's right.
Lords of Salem killed him. He died of shame.
So that was my adventure. So now the next movie I watch, I was like watching the credits to make sure.
Yeah, really. That's a good lesson. This is one to grow on.
Yeah.
That is freaking hilarious. All right, my turn.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay, I watched a movie called A Night of Horror: Nightmare Radio, which is a horror anthology that is reviewed pretty well. So I thought, all right, I'll check it out. It's about a radio DJ who has a show where he reads horror stories and people call in and tell horror stories. Seems kind of like one of 80 million podcasts now that, kind of does something similar.
Mm-hmm.
And each time he tells a story or one of the readers tells a story, you see a short film. And the kind of hook of this anthology is these are short films that have already been made. They played in festivals, they were on YouTube. And these guys who made the movie grabbed all these and then put like a bunch of really good YouTube shorts in the movie. So it's kind of curated, not just they hire someone and say, okay, here's your story, go shoot this. It didn't work for me. And there are several reasons. And I give anthologies a lot of leeway. More than
really
most
do.
I like
incredible.
Anthologies. I was getting pretty bored by the end of this. First of all, it's an hour and 45 minutes long, which for an anthology is way too freaking long. They could have cut 3 or 4 of these shorts out and made it paced a lot better. All of them looked great. Like you wouldn't know if you didn't have a discerning eye that some of these probably didn't have much money. Particularly the first one, the special effects were nuts. I couldn't believe it. But what makes a good YouTube short interesting is when it looks great and it's got a scary thing and there's a good jump scare, a good creature in it. But a lot of those shorts don't have like a story arc. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end, which is what you need in a movie. So a lot of these shorts are just a cool idea. Oh, there's a scary looking dude with white on him who killed a mom. That's the story. There's nothing else to it. So a lot of these shorts just kind of peter out. There's just not an ending. So it's like, why did I watch that? There's, when you're watching it on YouTube, in the background, you're like, oh, that was neat. That was cool. They got to do that. When you're watching in a movie you paid for, you're like, what the fuck? Like there's just nothing. It just ends.
That's on you. That's on you watching these anthologies no one's heard of.
So if it had been shorter and if some of these stories played out a little better, I would have enjoyed it more. But I'll tell you what, man, some of the guys who directed these shorts definitely knew what they were doing. It's incredible what guys are able to do with these digital cameras now. I mean, this stuff looks like a Hollywood movie looked 10 years ago. It's really freaking impressive. But this is one, maybe you wait till it hits Shudder or something. It was a little long for me.
Yeah, no, I'll wait till that hits the pale. Oh, all right. Oh, wait, I got my little bag up here. I'm going to go to the little town of Amity Island, grab my Narragansett.
Oh, nice. Hi, neighbor.
So I was further going down Corman Lane, and I saw a movie that I hadn't seen in a while, too. Probably another 30 years. The Terror Within. You guys ever see this one?
I don't think I have.
Refresh my memory. I know of it. I can't remember if I've seen it or not.
First of all, it stars Andrew Effin Stevens.
The king of Cinemax.
George Kennedy.
Wow.
The Blue Knight himself.
George Kennedy in his full comb over glory. It was very apropos for what we're going through now because it is a post-apocalyptic movie where some viral infection has wiped out all of mankind, except for these 6 people living in, I assume, is a military bunker underground. And they venture up every now and then, and people are gone, but gargoyles are alive. They could have been people who was turned into gargoyles. We're not so sure. But it literally becomes an alien movie with going like the gargoyle has followed them into their base and is trying to get in, and they got makeshift blowtorches going through like tunnels and ductwork and everything looking for it. The best part in this movie, Andrew Stevens has a what do they call that thing? The bow, the thing that Norman Reedus has in Walking Dead.
Crossbow?
Crossbow. So the gargoyles cannot be beat with lasers being set on fire, bullets. He's got a crossbow that he never shoots. Just kind of hangs around with them all the time. I got to tell you.
What?
Yeah. This also has like things popping out of stomachs. It's got a lot going on. And this, oh, by the way, this gargoyle likes to fuck. So if he's going to get
Kennedy?
DTF.
If he is going to get a hot chick somewhere, he is impregnating her as soon as possible.
He puts a gargoyle, baby.
This movie is a shit ton of fun. And I forgot how much I really enjoyed this. The best part is I find out that there's a part 2 that I never knew.
Really? I never
Andrew
knew that.
Stevens returns. Not as just the star, the director, along with Stella Stevens.
Oh, God.
I was going to watch it last night, and then I was doing the hangout, and they reminded me that I had to watch tonight's movie. So I'm like, oh, shit. I got to go watch The Room. So I can't wait to watch The Terror Within Part 2.
Now you've said that, I don't think I've seen that movie, but that's another one that I saw on the video shelf all the time.
I think it came out in 89 too, so I was probably renting it in 90 when it came out.
When you mentioned gargoyles, yeah, I definitely have not seen that.
Oh my God. It's pretty incredible.
Because there's just a movie called Gargoyles, right? That's the one I saw.
Yeah, that was kind of creepy. I think that was a TV movie.
The 90s
I
cartoon
think so.
was great.
I saw it on like Channel 5.
You're right, it was. Yeah, way back when we were young, they used to play it on TV all the time.
Yeah.
So I highly suggest Watch the Terror Within.
I'm putting it on the list.
I just added it to my Amazon list right now.
So I watched something not quite horror, but it's in the genre that we all love. You guys fans of the movie Galaxy Quest?
It's maybe the best Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
There is a great documentary called Never Surrender, a Galaxy Quest documentary. The guys from Screen Junkies made this movie. It's a documentary. They interview a bunch of the Star Trek people. And I think Brent Spiner even says this is the best Star Trek movie. We should have made this movie. Like, he's like, why didn't we make this movie?
It's brilliant.
And the Star Trek people love this movie. And it is a thorough, well done document. All the stars are interviewed. Sigourney Weaver, Tim Allen, everybody. They talk about how Tim Allen got the job and everything. Really interesting. Made with love. I think it's like an hour and a half long. I enjoyed every minute of it. I want to go back and watch Galaxy Quest again. It's been a while since I've seen it. I love that movie. I highly recommend, if you like the movie, you should check this out. It's a great watch, and it's on Prime.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay. I go back to that movie every couple of years. I think it is genius. I mean, it's gold.
One of the things is, it's kind of like we've talked about a lot of these movies where you have to make a good Star Trek movie that's funny and not kind of make it a spoof. And that's part of what made that movie great. Also, the cast is just spectacular.
I've showed it to several people who've never seen Star Trek before, and they all loved it. It's just a well-made movie. It's great.
I love what's his name? Sam Rockwell's name is Guy.
Yeah, I'm the plucky comic relief or something. When he knows he's going to go first. That was a great film.
So good.
All right, I just wanted to mention something quick that it's not horror, but everybody's going nuts for it. So I was finally talked into watching The Tiger King.
Fuck Carol Baskin.
No. So you've seen it. Have you seen this yet, Jack?
I've not seen it yet.
Dude, it's the watch of the year. I mean, it is the funniest shit. I was just laughing and horrified every 5 seconds, just back and forth. Like, it is.
Did you feel like you were watching like a family reunion?
It's funny you mentioned this. Because every time a new person came on, I was just like, that guy doesn't have any money. Now, she's not running a rescue. That's a zoo. I just like all these con artists just reminded me of people I grew up with. So I was just like, no, that's bullshit. And like later on, you just find out every single one of these people, like what their true story is. So it wasn't quite a family reunion. It was more like I was back in school. So it was great.
Do you want to start a GoFundMe for Joe Exotic's boyfriend and husband to get him teeth?
Oh, yeah. As soon as I saw that guy, I was like, well, he's a meth head. Like, come on.
Yep.
So if you haven't seen it yet, check it out.
Tiger I got it. It's on my to-do list, but I'm glad to hear that, because a lot of people, I don't know, when there's something mass consumed like that, there's always like that part of me. It's like, I'm going to watch something different than that. And so hearing you endorse it, I'll check it out.
Dude, it's remarkable.
So funny.
I've watched the first.
Funny.
There's only 7 episodes. I watched 5 in like 2 days. I usually don't do that.
Yeah, we blasted through in 2 days. It was just, I was laughing my ass off.
How long are the episodes?
Like 45 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's not too bad. It's it's worth the watch.
Trust me, I'm going to be Joe Exotic for Halloween.
You and everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Or maybe I'll be Carol Baskin. We'll see.
Be the dude with no teeth who never wears a shirt the entire goddamn show.
Carol Baskin is the reason I wanted to watch it, because I saw these Carol Baskin references on Twitter and stuff. And I'm like, all right, I'm not getting something. So I Googled it. I'm like, oh, okay.
The most disingenuous person you've ever met.
Brilliant.
All right. I think I said this before. With my Patreon folks, the patrons, we've been doing live viewing parties. This one we did Sunday. We invited the whole world if they wanted to come watch The Boogans. This is the 1980 minor movie. It's basically, don't go fracking. Don't go in the mines. There's a monster in the mines. But it's It's just a fun. It's got a 70s feel, even though it's 80s. It's got a totally 70s feel. They only made one Boogan for this movie.
Really?
Yeah. So there's only one actual Boogan that you do not see until you're like an hour and 15 minutes into the movie. But it's funny because I learned that the company that made this was also making like TV friendly Grizzly Adams movies and the Search for Noah's Ark movies. Yeah, remember that?
In Search of Noah's Ark.
Yeah, so it's like the movie is competently done. There's a couple of things like there's a creepy old man that you would think he's like the guy who'd show up in Scooby Doo would be like, yeah, I would have gotten away with it. Every now and then he just lurks around. You're like going, it's when we're watching some guy goes, dude, am I missing what is his purpose in this movie? I'm like, he's just a fucking creeper. Just ignore him. But it's actually a pretty fun movie. It's got a couple of pretty girls. It has a dog in peril, which
oh no,
I will admit a lot of us were rooting for the dog to die in this movie.
Wow, was it a poodle?
Like something like it was just one yappy dog. Dude, it's far better than it should be. Because it's it's a cheapo drive-in movie, which I think I actually saw in the drive-in when it first came out, if memory serves. But if you just want to see like a fun, you don't get many like horror movies set in mines anymore. So if you're a mine monster completist, this is all for you.
Been mining for a good mine movie.
What a special day. The man who was the best man at my wedding is here. John Wilson. What's up, man?
Wow. You gotta get a window on Facebook so you can chat with them.
If I want to talk to John, I'll just call him on the damn phone. No.
All right. My last thing is Shudder has released a new show called Cursed Films, and the first episode is out, and they deal with The Exorcist. They've got to be doing Poltergeist 3 at some point.
Oh, come on. Yeah.
Oh, please. I love that movie.
This one's all about I think about a half hour or so. So it's not like a huge investment, but it's really good. A lot of behind the scenes things, interviews with Linda Blair and some of the other people, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. And then some of the best part is what's the name of the demon in that? Pazuzu?
Yeah.
The woman who plays Pazuzu is one of the people interviewed.
Really?
Yeah. I was like, hey, I never
Still
thought
alive.
about who. Yeah. Well, at least at the filming of this.
I can't wait to pay $60 to get her autograph one day.
Right. So it's on Shudder. I don't know if they're doing one a week or something like that, but half hour, you should check it out. It's really interesting. A lot of good behind the scenes stuff, and kind of gets you. Oh, I don't know if I give it away. One of the cast members, a minor player in the movie, turned out to be a murderer.
Oh, nice.
So check that out.
Beautiful.
Just like Tiger King.
Exactly.
How many episodes of the show are there? Or they just put one up?
They just released one. So when I turned it on, I expected like, oh, can I watch a bunch of them? And nope. So they must be doing like Creep Show where they just one a week or something like that.
Yeah, I hadn't even heard of this till I saw it on your list. I need to check it out. Okay, I read a book. It was one of those that I don't know if you see this. If you're an Amazon Prime subscriber, you get like once a month, you have 8 books you can choose from that you can read for free.
Mm-hmm.
I always forget about it. But this week I got an email from Amazon. I thought, oh, what the hell? I'll grab it quick. It was called Rain Will Come by Thomas Holgate.
It's CUM, right?
Yes.
Is that why you picked it up?
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I thought it was a movie. It was a freaking book. So it's about a guy who has terminal brain cancer and decides he's going to go right some wrongs by killing these people who got away with horrific crimes. And he's being hunted down by an investigator, a detective who has his own issues. He's on all kinds of coke and hanging out with hookers every night, and the damaged detective thing. And they kind of intersect throughout the story, and it's a cat and mouse thing, but it's more of a thriller structure, thriller pacing. But every time the serial killer guy is in it, horrendous shit happens in the book. So it's got a ton of horror elements throughout it. And it was really good. I thought it was outstanding. And I looked up Thomas Holgate, and unless this is a pen name, this is his first freaking book.
Wow.
Well done, dude. So I hate you because you're really good in your first book, and two, you somehow got signed by Thomas and Mercer, and it gave you the free Prime deal for your book. So he's probably just raking cash through his backyard with a rake right now. So
It's actually John Grisham.
oh, okay, so it makes sense.
It's fine.
When you do that Amazon, I've seen that credit thing and I've never really understood it. So if you start to read it, is there a time limit on how long you have to read the book, or is it just that's
Not that I saw. No, I think you just like once you add it to your library, it's yours. I don't know if it ever goes away, to be honest. But yeah, so really good book, man. Nice work.
Sweet. Well,
Cool.
I'm going to finish with a book I read, and you read this, Jason, The Con Season by Adam Caesar.
Ah, excellent book.
Because when the coronavirus thing a few weeks ago started getting crazy, he put all his ebooks on for 99 cents. So I picked everything up that I didn't already own. So this was the first one I read because I'm like, oh yeah, horror cons. I miss horror cons. Jack, we should be going to Chiller Theater in another couple of weeks, but we're not.
I know.
So this is definitely a book written by a person who understands and has been at horror cons. So if you're one of the con denizens like Jack and I are, and Jason, you're going to really dig this book. I like the premise of it is these two guys are creating their own horror convention that's in a campground. That's kind of like a Friday the 13th. And they get, I think it's 5 or 6 kind of like B-list horror icons. And it's very immersive is the way I'll put it. Fun book. Very fun book. Bloody, crazy, some shitty human beings in it. That's what I love.
Doesn't take long to kick into gear either.
No, which was awesome. So, as always, Mr. Caesar, good job. Hail Caesar.
There's a knowledgeable fellow about the horror genre.
He knows a thing or two. I think I like to say that we taught him everything we know.
Yeah, I've seen him mention some movies and I'm like, what the fuck is he talking about? He got some deep dives.
He does.
Good YouTube channel. You should give him a follow.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That everything?
Done.
Yeah. Empty.
Let's go into the room.
You like scary movies?
Uh-huh.
What's your favorite scary movie?
I don't know.
You have to have a favorite. What comes to mind?
It's a Shudder exclusive. Who wants to recap it?
I'll do it. An impossibly good-looking couple. Because I'm looking at both of them like, Jesus Christ. They are European, kind of. And they moved to this upstate
New York.
Upstate New York, crumbling piece of crap house against her mother's wishes, it appears. And as they're kind of rebuilding, renovating the house, which they really don't do much other than like move stuff around, and I don't see them paint crappy wallpaper. They're hanging up pictures, but whatever. I'm not here to criticize how they renovate.
I don't think they got that far, dudes. They kind of discovered something.
Well, yes. As they're going through all this, they discover that there's a room. So the man is a frustrated artist. At least he's frustrated at this point. I think he's trying to find creativity in the bottom of a bottle. And I can tell you, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So he's sitting in the room one night, just kind of finishes booze. He says, man, I really wish I had another bottle of that. And then the lights kind of dim and boom, there's another bottle of whiskey. And then when we cut to her waking up in the morning and this entire room is full of all kinds of crap, including Van Gogh paintings and Matisse's. And he's like, you just wish for it and you get it. So it's kind of like all they have to do is go into this room, ask for something, and it's theirs. And the room, the house itself is kind of cool, especially the basement. When you get into the electrical work in the basement, like what the hell?
Yeah,
like,
the electrician's like, huh? Not like what?
Yeah, no, I'd run out of there screaming.
Yeah, he's like, I'll send you a quote.
But I do. It's look. We've seen these kind of things before. Jack, you'll love. There's a movie. It's like The Magic Teapot. It's got Juno Temple. So if you like this movie where you get what you ask for, watch that one. It's not horror, but you'll like Juno. But yeah, that's basically the movie. It's what happens when people can get everything they want, but not share it with the world. And what happens.
Nice.
And what'd you think?
I liked it. You know, it's not going to make my top list for the year. I did like that. I like their choices. So they're getting all this stuff, and what did they decide to do? Get drunk and just have kinky sex for the next few days, and just pouring champagne everywhere, just going bananas. And I'm like, man, I kind of dig their vibe.
If I was married to her, that would be my solution for everything that came up in life. You know, it's the Super Bowl Sunday. We should have kinky sex tonight.
There is a particular article of lingerie she wore that I'm gotta find it. I kind of liked it.
That shot where she enters the bedroom in the lingerie, I went, Jack is going to love this scene.
Oh, I just
knew.
Out loud, I'm watching this movie alone. I just go, gratuitous.
Can I share my screen? I'll show you my screen caps.
Yeah. But no, I liked it, and I liked where it went, because I was like, oh, because I didn't know anything about this movie. So I was like, oh, you shouldn't do that. That's kind of gross and weird. And then once it happened, I'm like, all right, well, there's an inevitable conclusion here. But then they did threw a couple left turns in there that I thought was kind of cool. And something happened in there that we'll talk later that I didn't understand at all. But I thought it was a cool movie. It's on Shudder, man. It's please sponsor us, Shudder. No, it's a cool movie.
How about you, Jason?
I loved this. I just stumbled upon it, browsing through Shudder one day. I'd never heard of it, knew nothing about it, clicked it, and every time I thought I knew where the movie was going to go, it went somewhere else, which I think is what I liked the most. Is I just never knew where the hell this was going at any given point, the whole way up to the end. So I dug it, and then I thought the acting was really good. At the beginning, I was like, it's a little weird, because I was just bitching about, God, what was the freaking movie I just watched where they had the non-native English speakers pretending they were, I'm like, oh, again?
At least they brought up that they're not American.
Yes, exactly. And as things descended, I actually thought their acting got really good in the last half of the movie. I thought if you were to just show the last part of the movie before the first, you'd be like, how the hell do we get here? And I thought kind of their acting kind of followed that journey. So I really enjoyed this. This is the kind of thing that I love Shudder for, that I just, there's a new movie. I just click it and I'm like, shit, that was pretty entertaining. So
competently made.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun with it.
Excellent. I too enjoyed this movie a lot. I thought it was good. I also think that I'm watching it and the setup was pretty good. And you kind of hit the middle. And I'm like, all right, are we going to run out of gas or whatever? And instead, Hunter, kind of what you said, they took some turns and stuff that made the payoff really good. So I went from like, yeah, this is okay, I'm enjoying this, to like, oh wow, yeah, that was good. That was good. That was a good watch. The last act, really good payoff, and a couple of you sort of are expecting a few things, but there's a few things you are not expecting to happen.
No.
And I thought pretty good performances from everybody in the movie as well, because I was kind of expecting some cardboard acting, and
which is kind of what I felt at the beginning. It felt like,
well, yeah, because they look too nice. They look too pretty to know how to act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had to get warmed up.
Yeah.
By the way, the child that played the boy, where he's a boy for the longest amount of time, I would have thrown him in that room and locked the door. God, he was irritating.
Walking the spoiler line here, we should be careful. But yes. Yes, I wanted to throttle someone.
Oh God, I'm so glad I have girls.
So, well, you knew coming into this that a wish granting room, there was going to be a monkey's paw aspect to the whole thing.
Of course.
But they didn't just go A to Z. They took their time and gave you some zig and zag. Maybe they could have spent a little more time. I feel like the journey, particularly of the wife and the choices she made, kind of it went quick. But I also kind of felt like this was like almost like a creep show or a Tales from the Dark Side kind of episode stretched into a movie. But usually I complain that it's too long and they should have just made it into an episode. And I thought they did a good job of this, of taking, I took the production value and the quality of this as like, all right, I'm just kind of suspending any disbelief, and it's like I'm watching an episode of one of these kinds of shows. And so I'm going to accept the fact that there's a wish granting room, and maybe some of the decisions that they make, I'm going to let it go to let the premise happen.
It was weird because she seemed like a very modern, like, woman of the world, and then like her view on what they wanted to ultimately do seems so old world. I don't know. That I thought to me there was a disconnect there, and I think I would have liked to see a little bit more development with why she feels that way, other than the easy, oh yeah, because this happened. But no, you're so over the top in your reaction to not wanting to do this that I don't know. It seemed
there was a rush from where she was with the kid to where it went. That definitely it was rushed, but I think it's kind of like you said, Jack. If they add 15 minutes more story in there, I'm going to be bitching because it's an hour and 45 minutes. So I don't know. Maybe there's a happy medium somewhere in between.
Oh, by the way, good ending.
It's a great ending.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That rest that assured it of being a movie that I liked, because they stuck the landing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. I can't wait to talk about that because I was like, what? Like, oh my God. Yeah. So. And you're right. The look of the movie, I have no idea what the budget was, but in no way did it look cheap. I don't know if they were able to kind of spend more money on production values because they only had a handful of actors. But
it was filmed on a sound studio in Los Angeles, and the outside stuff was somewhere in San Francisco.
Oh, really?
Well,
I knew that wasn't New York.
I think one thing you said there, Hunter, like the who knows what this year is going to look like, but this didn't strike me as something that I'd put on like a best of list, but it would be something that if I was talking to people and be like, oh yeah, you got to check out The Room. Like I would definitely recommend it to people. It's a good flick, but it's not like when I watched Come to Daddy, I'm like, oh my God, that movie was tremendous.
Exactly. No, this is a great movie. This is why you have streaming services this is why we have Shudder in the first place, to discover these kind of things that we might have never seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I would have had to pay $5 or $6 for this, I probably would have never clicked. I mentioned this, I think, when I talked about it a couple weeks ago. Going with the name The Room, knowing that the most infamous bad movie ever is named The Room, like, what are you thinking calling this The Room? Like, yeah, honestly.
That was a really weird choice.
I never in a million years would have done that, and I would not have paid to watch this. Even just psychologically, just thinking, anyone who's crazy enough to name it this, like, I don't want to watch their movie.
I had actually been planning to watch this because Olga Kurylenko was in it. I was like, oh, there's a horror movie with her.
But
so it's definitely.
So what is she from that you know her from?
She was in the James Bond movie, and I just thought she was gorgeous, and so just like I follow her on Instagram, like because she popped up once, so I have no affection for her except that she's gorgeous.
Well, hey, that's all it takes for us. We are males.
She was the Bond girl in Quantum of Solace, and I think she was Tom Cruise's love interest in Oblivion.
Yes.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And she is 41 years old.
Get out of here. Shut the door.
Yeah. Now let's talk about the real hero of this movie, Kevin Janssens, who is the guy from Revenge who ran around naked for 15 minutes at the end.
Hemsworth Light.
I've seen a lot of him.
Yeah, we know that man very intimately.
Cut or uncut? We know.
He is also 41. Well, I guess it looks like they're actually both about to turn 41 this year. So
wow.
Yeah.
Good couple.
Actually, Olga just recovered from the coronavirus.
Did she?
Really?
Yeah.
She kind of looked like you probably you didn't have kids. iCarly. There was Miranda Cosgrove. I said that looks like Miranda Cosgrove is like a full-grown adult.
Oh, the girl from School of Rock?
Yes. There we go.
Sure.
Yeah, you had to be there. You ready for the bell? I think we need the bell. We all like this movie, by the way. This is 3 for 3.
We all liked it. Spoiler bell. Okay, if you don't have Shudder and you haven't seen this movie, that was a spoiler bell. We were warning you because now we're going to talk spoilers. Ready, set, Spoilers.
By the way, that bell's the closest any of you Christians are getting to church right now, so enjoy it.
Yes. And if you can still go to church, don't. Stay the hell home.
Yeah, really. Kick your ass.
All
right.
So you go into this room and this woman has tried to have kids twice with not so great results. So she's hesitant. The husband goes out, comes back, and she has wished for a baby. But what they don't realize, which this was part of the thing where I had to let it go. They don't realize till after they've wished for a kid that if you take anything you wish for outside the house, it like turns to dust. Like Thanos snapped his fingers.
Exactly.
Because I would think, and the only kind of clue they give is that at one point he looks and he goes, "Hey, where's that necklace you wished for?" And she's like, "Oh, it must have fallen off or something." But I would think that I would have like wished for a shotgun or something and gone outside and been shooting it. Or I just feel like that was one of the things I had to let go, was that they didn't notice it till after they wished for a baby. But what a great premise. You wish for a living thing, and now it can't leave the house or it's going to age and turn to dust.
It took them a while to notice because they were drunk and spent.
I think it's what you said earlier. Olga was in the house with this guy, so he was like, "I'm not leaving for 3 days, whatever."
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to choke her. She's going to choke me. We're going to go crazy. I'm going to throw diamonds on her.
Well, she had the coronavirus, so they were quarantining anyway.
Yeah, exactly. They were practicing social distancing from the rest of the world.
Yeah, and when I first watched, I was like, so living things don't turn to dust right away, but non-living things do. But they didn't fully explain that. But I was watching a second time with my wife to prepare for this, and I kind of liked it more watching it the second time. I felt like the necklace thing, I didn't pick up on that until watching it the second time. And I was like, oh shit, they did kind of plant some stuff throughout. And yeah, so it worked for me a little more the second time. Not that it was maybe the best laid out thing, but
the first time, like I think it's the painting that he knows. At first you just think it's turning to dust. It's not till the kid goes outside that you realize it's aging quickly.
Right.
And so it's decaying. It's not just dematerializing.
That's one thing that's what I really love, because I thought first of all, that scene when she insists she's taking the baby out to get some air, and he's got that conflict of, do I stop her, or I know this baby shouldn't be here, and he just kind of like leans against the door with his back turned. I'm like, man, I'd feel the same way. I'm like, man, do I do it? But then when she starts screaming and the baby's crying, it's like, what do you do? But I loved how with a living person, it just ages them. So by the time he gets
quickly
the baby back inside, he's a freaking 10-year-old.
It ages them quickly, but not quickly enough that you could get it over with quick.
Right.
Where it'd be just agonizing.
Yeah. That scene you mentioned is where I felt the acting started to take a turn. Because at the beginning, I was like, this is fine. And then that scene where he's standing at the door trying to decide what he should do is like, oh. And then from there, the movie just gets crazier and crazier. And then by the end, I thought their acting was great as they were getting really desperate. So that scene with the kid is when the kid, you see the way he's looking at the mom, at the wife. That was one of those turns where I was like, oh, this isn't just creepy kid movie. This is like creepy kid is after the mom.
He sees them making sweet, sweet love through the crack of the door, and like right there is like the first red flag.
Yeah,
right.
And here's the other red flag. He starts talking in a British accent. I'm like, oh, any kid with a British accent needs to go.
I don't know if we want to get to the part, but before we get to that, the kid can't go outside. So at one point he goes in the room and clearly has made a wish, and the room is now a forest, and he's making a snowman in the forest. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. I did not see that coming either.
But how did he know that? I'm like, well, how does he understand?
Well, he had the little like model of a tree, like surrounded.
Yeah, but how did he know to do that in the room?
Well, he made the snow globe before. I don't remember how he got in. Well, they hadn't locked the room, so I think he'd been going in there. But I liked how they explained how he did all that, just because he's young, so his imagination is wild. And he was like, "What if he dreams up a dragon?" I'm like,
oh, that was a great.
Yeah, I was like, "Oh
I
shit!"
love that.
Actually, can I see that movie? Because that would be cool as hell.
Yeah, because kids are scary.
Yeah.
So when he gets older and his hormones kick in, and he ends up tackling his mother.
But by the way, it's not like he gets older through the natural process of aging through the years. It's through going outside.
He goes outside for 30 seconds.
Goes outside, comes back, and he's got a gun, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He's got a gun. But at one point, I mean, he jumps his mother. And that's the point where I'm like, oh, I didn't expect this movie to go that dark.
It looked like a dry hump, though.
Well, so when you're watching, you're like, wait, did he? No, they didn't do that. Yes, they did.
See, I know. You've seen it twice now. When this act is happening, or even afterwards, does anyone struggle to pull up their pants?
I don't remember. I don't remember. But him two-pump jumping it makes sense. I mean, the dude's never had sex before, so.
Well, he is essentially like 3 weeks old. You fuck like a baby. Hey, have a baby.
He's also not a real person, so we don't know what the rules are for his.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. I thought him taking over the personality, the life of the dad, I thought was really well done too, because it adds a creepy factor. No, because you're just waiting for her to be like, "You want to go up to bed or something?" It's like, oh God, no.
Yeah, no, not him. He's deciding raping is the best thing to do right now.
Well, that when it first is like when the husband is like, she goes, "Where is he?" He goes, "I killed him and he's out back or whatever."
Yeah,
and I'm going, "Wait, what? Did I fall asleep for a second? Did I miss something?" For like a second there, I was like, "What the hell did I thought I missed something."
Yeah, now that whole part to me was well done, and it's just a very fast-paced roller coaster kind of through the end there, which the end is what really made me like the movie more, because it's so rare that we see these movies that end on such a dark note.
But well, before we get to that dark note, I also like how the kid made a phantom house.
Yeah.
And so they thought they were in the real house, and then they had to run through the forest to get back to the real house.
That's where I got a little confused. I'm like, are we doing multiverse things? Because now, like, who's who? I got confused.
That kid, he's the kid. He's the house's kid. So I don't know if the house was taking care of him or he had insight into it because he's connected to it. But he knew how to manipulate that room and use its power far more than any of the other two could.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, he just made a replica house and drug her to it while she was unconscious. So when she woke up, she thought she was in the same house, and she wasn't. She was in the room with Tommy Wiseau, which is not where you want to be.
Poor woman.
So anyway, how's your sex
life? So the father ends up. How does it end? He tackles him outside, right?
Well, yeah, because at one point the father gets stabbed and dies. And then the other part, the kid goes for the father and he just grabs him and just pulls him outside.
Yeah. Yeah, then the dad realizes he needs to use the room because they're in the room to his advantage. So he's conjuring new versions of them, which I thought was kind of interesting. So yeah. Drags him outside and decay.
Does away with them. So then let's get to the Hunter. Take us through the dark ending.
So you cut to 1 month later, and the husband, he's walking. It looks like they're living in a motel somewhere, and he's knocking on the door. "Honey, I got coffee, honey." And you see her sitting inside, and she's just kind of like looks like she's gonna vomit, and she has a positive pregnancy test in her hands.
And then the lights flicker.
Yeah,
just like
and you're like, spaghetti-o.
Now, one of the things was the only way for it to become real was for its creator to die.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
If your creator dies, then it can live outside the house.
The son was the creator and then died when he got pushed out of the house.
Right.
So that kid is now real.
Jokes on the house because she can't carry kids. So it's not going to make it to term.
Who knows? Magical room, babies.
Oh, let's not go the room too.
But the other thing is, how can she be sure that it's the house's kid and not her husband's?
I'm saying
unless
they had crazy sex. Might have all been anal because it looked like they were going for it.
So if she decides to terminate the pregnancy, is she terminating a real pregnancy or is she terminating the house pregnancy?
Right.
She has the kids, same dilemma. So the layers to that dark ending. I just sat there going, "Oh, nice, nice little capper on that."
Probably depends on your personality, which way you're leaning on that ending.
The lights flickering tell you it's the house, but
I see you have a dark personality. I know, that's what I was thinking. I thought the twist where
cheap shit motel,
the guy in the asylum who had killed people earlier, and he was John Doe. I like that twist. I didn't see that coming until like 5 minutes before it happened. I was like, oh, this dude was created by The Room. I thought that was, and he says right from the beginning, why'd you do it? And he said it was the only way. And so he says all this cryptic shit that at the beginning, you're like, this guy's really crazy. I don't know what he's saying. And then when the twist happens, was that maybe 3/4 of the way through? Then it's like, oh, all this weird shit this dude has been saying this whole time makes much more sense. It was cool.
No, there were more layers to this than there should have been. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. And I think that's why I liked it, because a lot of these movies, these cheap movies, when the writing is good, that's what kind of hooks me, when the story has me, and this one definitely got me.
I think it's unfolding to just be another video store level horror movie.
Get what you wish for.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, this quality wave comes and hits it. You're like, that you don't expect. You're like, wait, this is way better than it has any right to be.
Look, I hear a lot of people talking now how they're running out of things to watch. Go add this to your list.
Yes.
Faux
shizzle.
Faux show.
Or The Terror Within Part 2 without seeing Part 1.
Tiger King.
All right. So I think we're all thumbs upping, and we don't have a movie picked out for next week yet. So we'll post it on Twitter when we have made a decision.
What should we watch in the theater, folks? Oh God.
This might be the end of theaters.
Dude,
shit just might come straight to video from here on out.
That'll be a shame, but maybe this will be the rebirth of drive-ins, because there is social distancing in a drive-in.
True.
There's one an hour from us in Warwick, New York. It's a 3-screen drive-in. It's huge. And they're currently they're petitioning the governor to give them an exception so they can open up the theater, because they're always open in April. So I'm hoping they do, because if they do, I'm heading right up there.
Man, I haven't been to a drive-in in 15 years probably.
Oh, I go every year to at least one.
I've probably been to a drive-in in 25 years.
Oh, you can come with us, Jack.
Okay.
As long as
cheap way to watch movies.
Cuddling in the back seat.
Ow. All right. So everybody, thanks. If you're in the live chat, thanks for joining us. If you've downloaded the podcast, thank you. And don't forget to share, tell people about it, and all that kind of fun stuff. And anything else, guys?
I wish I finished this in time to crush the can, but I still got too much left.
Crush it like Quinn. All right. We'll see y'all guys next week. Take it easy.
Bye.
So long, suckers.
Game over, man.